2007, BioWare developed and Electronic Arts published Mass Effect for the Sony PlayStation 3, Microsoft Windows, and Microsoft Xbox 360. The series focused on that of the main character of Shepard and how he had to fight against the rogue specter of Sara. Along the way, Shepard meets a number of characters and ventures throughout the galaxy, visiting multiple alien civilizations. In 2010, once again, BioWare and Electronic Arts developed and published Mass Effect 2, which expands upon the first game's story and introduces the threat of the Collectors and Vapors. More characters are introduced and adds to the Mass Effect universe, and Shepard has to continue the journey throughout the galaxy. This was considered the best Mass Effect game out of the original trilogy at the time due to the character development and plot expansion of the Mass Effect story. In 2012, Mass Effect 3 was released for a third time by BioWare Electronic Arts, and by this time the original trilogy was done, and the character of Shepard, being that of male or female, proved to be one of the most well-respected characters of the early 2000s. The story of the trilogy were mostly applauded due to the originality of the story and themes, as well as the characters depicted in all three games were relatable, believable, and highly appreciated with critics and gamers alike. However, due to the controversial ending of Mass Effect 3, public consensus were that it left the gamers somewhat wanting more in terms of an end to the series, or definitive conclusion, but this was never given, especially with the story of the first and second Mass Effect games. The third was somewhat weaker in comparison to the first and second. This wanting of more to the original trilogy, or a redone ending of the third game, wasn't forgotten by gamers, as in 2012, Mass Effect Andromeda was developed and released for a fourth time by BioWare and Electronic Arts. However, the game was vastly different from the original trilogy and featured the new main character of either Sara or Scott Ryder. Despite the fact that the game itself was a new direction for the Mass Effect franchise, and the new characters depicted in the game were somewhat viewed favorably by critics and players of the different Mass Effect games, due to the mixed reception that Mass Effect Andromeda had with critics and gamers. After it was released, anything positive about the game was immediately ignored in terms of a bad reputation because of the disaster that Andromeda was in terms of early development, release, and errors, glitches, and bugs associated with the game, and overall decline in quality with Mass Effect Andromeda when compared to the original trilogy of Mass Effect. A character can be overrated yet hated because some fans wanted a definitive end to a trilogy, while others wanted more. None of this was given to fans.